I am a publisher, writer, editor, daughter, sister, auntie, dog mom, and many other things, including currently a cancer patient. But I am not a doctor or medical professional of any sort. What you are about to watch is an episode of my journey through cancer. I'm sharing my adventure with you in hopes that you'll find something here that's comforting and maybe even inspiring. This video is not intended to provide any sort of diagnosis or treatment plan. Please go talk with your doctor for professional medical advice. So the big question today was whether I should pop my collar or not. I kind of like it popped, but it's very 80s. The 80s, I was living in New York City. Probably the last time that a young person could live in New York City, could actually find an affordable place to live in the West Village, which is where I lived, and spent her evenings going and listening to friends play music at the clubs on Bleecker Street and 6th Avenue, and so many hours spent at the other end, and CBGB's and Sylvette's, listening to Andy Wahlberg play his harp guitar. He's the one who created the theme music for this channel, and he's a wonderful musician. I'm going to link his website down below in case you want to check out more harp guitar music, and also his schedule of appearances. And he plays a lot around Naples, Florida, so if you're in Naples and you get the opportunity, go hear him, because he's so much fun. And thank you, Andy, for the music. It's such a lovely gift. I don't have a whole lot of nostalgia for the 80s. It was a strange time. The clothes were bad and the hairdos were worse, and there were a lot of us that knew that in real time. I also don't have a lot of nostalgia for my youth in general. I have a pretty exciting life, but I am nostalgic for the kind of energy I had then, and that's what this channel was supposed to be about. It's how can we get back to a more acceptable level of energy for ourselves as we age, and age vibrantly and with purpose. And I positioned this bout I'm having, this current bout I'm having with cancer, as sort of a detour on the journey to getting my mojo back. But it's really not a journey that shouldn't, or that by nature excludes cancer, because cancer is a disease of aging. The NIH says that over 50% of the cancers that are detected in people over 65, and we are an aging population. Boomers, we're getting older, and as we get older, there's going to be more and more incidents of cancer. The NIH projects that between 2010 and 2050, the population of people who are 85 years old or older is going to increase from 5.5 million to 19 million. And the incidence of cancer is going to increase between the years 2010 and 2030 by 45%. So I'm not the only one who's going to be going through cancer. There's a lot of reasons for this. There's genetics, of course, but there's also environmental and lifestyle factors, the lack of appropriate exercise, poor diet, smoking, drinking. There's all kinds of things that can exacerbate our potential to get cancer. But it doesn't have to be that way. There are things that we can do to prevent and mitigate our exposure and our risk. In fact, I'm going to quote exactly from what the NIH says. Patients and providers both need to recognize that for most adults, age is coincidentally associated with preventable chronic conditions, avoidable exposures, and modified health habits that causally are associated with cancer. So there are things we can do. I have cancer already, and I'm really reevaluating my habits. I love a glass of wine, and I had been having at least one glass of wine with dinner. almost every night, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, depending. And if it was Sundays, I'd have a cocktail. So I'm reevaluating that, and I am not drinking anything until I get through, this bout with cancer. But I think that the other big thing that we can all do is we cannot delay taking care of ourselves. We cannot delay going to the doctors. 2 years ago, my doctor suggested that I have a battery of tests just because I was 63 at that point, or I'm sorry, 62 at that point. And you know what? I felt great. I didn't feel the need to go and spend the time and the energy to go and get these tests until something was wrong, like a month ago. And by that point, I had cancer. And, it's something that we have to deal with as we get older. We just have to take these tests, because the earlier we can detect something, the better it is. If I had had a colonoscopy 2 years ago, we may have had a baseline to compare what my test results are now. As it is, we don't know. I don't know, which is driving me crazy. How long I might have had this, or how it might have spread in between the time when it started to appear in my body and I actually felt something appear in my body. So don't do what I do. Don't do what I did. Don't wait. If your doctor recommends tests, just go get them. Deal with it.
If you liked this video or found it helpful, give it a like, subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell.